I'm Thomas LeRoy, founder of the Sect of the Horn God.
And I am Mistress Babylon, co-founder of the Sect of the Horn God.
Now, recently I was on Satanic International Network, and someone on there had posed the question, when did you become a Satanist? For me, I found that to be an odd question. That would be like basically asking a gay person, when did you become gay? I think it should have been phrased as, when did you realize you were a Satanist?
Yeah, it's not an overnight decision. You know, it is a process.
It's not a decision at all. It's a realization.
Well, exactly. What I meant by decision was, it was just like, okay, today I have decided I'm gay or I'm a Satanist, or it doesn't happen like that for any of us.
It's
a process.
Right, and I think for most of us, it was reading the Satanic Bible. As I've stated before in other videos, it's as if LeRoy held up a mirror and asked you, do you see your reflection? And of course, we who identify with that, well, let's admit it, the label of Satanist, that's how we first got introduced to it.
Oh, sure. And I mean, and with LeRoy, of course, he held up a mirror that offended society in many ways. He threw their hypocrisy back into them, back into their faces. And, I mean, many of us feel this that about society in terms of the hypocrisy. And so we went, yes, LeRoy, right?
And also he used the Judeo-Christian iconography against
Exactly.
them.
By reversing it.
Right, shoving it back in their face.
Mm-hmm.
Now, many of us, I mean, we're more than, let's say, militant Gothic atheists, as I believe it was Gavin Baddeley referred to Satanists as. Some are more, let's say, into the ritualistic side. Some may actually believe in magic and the workings of magic, while others or more, like I was saying, more of the militant atheists who like to use the archetype and iconography of the Judeo-Christian tradition against those believers.
Right.
In a sense.
At the same time, though, I feel that there is a difference between atheists and atheistic Satanists. Whether that it's a hard call. Like, I think that Satanism adds the color, so to speak. It adds the mythology. It adds philosophy. Not that I'm an atheist, so I'm not against atheism at all. But science is cold. Do you know what I mean?
And what happens is, a lot of atheists, they build up a wall, and they stay behind that wall, and they might shout their platitudes or whatever at the believers, at the theists.
Right.
But they stay behind that wall.
But the same thing can be actually said for Satanists who aren't Satanists, right? It's justified. They use Satanism as a justification for bad behavior, rather than actually. I honestly
think that only a third of the people that actually call themselves a Satanist are Satanists.
I agree.
I think the majority of the people use it as a tag. Look at me, I'm a rebel. I'm a Satanist.
You hit the nail on the head.
And they don't get
a rebellion thing.
And they don't get the philosophy. They're very much believers.
Right. Or followers.
Followers, very sheepish-like.
Right.
Or easy to manipulate.
Yes.
There are way too many of them.
And we've all met them. We have met them.
And we know quite a few.
Yes, we do.
People who will eventually leave it because it wasn't them to begin with. It's like you hear about those guys in college, guys or girls in college. Yeah, I experimented with the same sex, but I'm not really gay. Well, yeah, you experimented. That's it. Like these people, they're simply experimenting with Satanism to see if it is them. You shouldn't have to experiment. You're not experimenting if it is you.
Exactly, and I agree, but I don't see how people, once they have become or they take their journey on the left-hand path, how do you walk away from that? What detour do you take that suddenly is, oh, I am not of the left-hand path? There's that independence, that flame. How do you suddenly fucking blow that out?
Because they were never on it.
Because they were never on it. Exactly.
Never on it from the very beginning.
No, and it's just an excuse for bad behavior. I'm a Satanist, so I'm all that, and I can do this and have no conscience. You know what? Go fuck yourself.
Where should I take it from there? Like I said earlier, Satanism, or the left-hand path in general, should not be a tag or a badge that you wear. One of rebellion. That isn't it. It's a philosophy. It is beyond a philosophy. It is an attribute of who you are.
Exactly, and it is so you innately that it's unquestionable that what you are, you don't even think about it. It's other people notice the difference. That's how I look at it, right? That makes you different, that you don't even notice it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
I know exactly what you mean. They point it out.
They point it out.
Like I have always
happens
been.
To me all the time.
I love my siblings. I come from a huge family, and I was always the one out of all us little kids. I was the one sitting by himself in the corner.
Yeah.
Playing with his toys or whatever.
Reading the dictionary.
Drawing pictures on the walls, while my siblings were fighting and rolling around and doing their own thing. And I love them, but they're all right-hand path, and that's just them by nature.
That's right.
Now, we have seen, as we know, some of our little ones in our lives that we can point out and go, that one, even at 3 years old, that's a Satanist.
Yes.
You can see it. You can see it in their character and their actions and the way they perceive the world.
Kind of like Hannibal Lecter.
You know which one I'm talking about,
yes,
right?
Yes, I do.
No, so it's, in the end, for a Satanist to stop being a Satanist would be like a gay person to stop liking dick. And if you're really gay, that would be impossible.
Exactly.